The bullet train has left the station, but we're still not done inspecting its engine, aka its plot. Yes, it was an assassin's hellhole, but we're more interested in the cameos. The surprise appearances were hiding so much up their sleeves, and then some. You know we love a good mystery. So in this video, we're picking up our magnifying glass and finding all the Easter eggs and references fans missed in the bullet train. First off, taking a page out of Barry's book. Let's start with the speculations first, and then we'll move on to the solid clues that immediately had us hooked. It was so refreshing seeing Brad Pitt back on our action screens again. But as an assassin, he's just done. And who can blame him? After dealing with all the gory violence and negativity, killers need a therapist too. So we saw Pitt's Ladybug talking about his therapist multiple times throughout the journey. Nanau says Barry's been helping him work out his anger issues and be more positive in life. Damn, if we all don't need that as well. Good on him for reaching out for help. But we were stuck on his healer's name. Don't we know Barry, who was also an assassin? We think the guy Pitt keeps mentioning is a nod to HBO's hit series of the same name, starring the talented Bill Hader. After all, Barry has been through a bloody life, literally. Now he's turned over a new leaf and is pursuing his acting passions. Who else can guide a killer better than a former killer who has mended his ways? He can relate to the struggle, and we're just convinced it's the same person. Or for all we know, it could be the deranged tiger from Dr. Dolittle, tired of being a predator. Still, we're leaning towards the HBO one. You build connections in the assassin world too, so it's completely plausible that both Brad and Bill's characters know each other. Up next, the anger management journey continues. While we're talking about Ladybug working on his issues, another thing caught our attention. The stunning Sandra Bullock and the charming Channing Tatum also peaked on our screens. Much to the disappointment of Sandra's fans, her role was super brief, even though the makers heavily marketed her character in the press tours. Anyway, the disappointment aside, what do you instantly think of when we mention these two actors together? We don't blame you for going straight towards Channing's peaches and that iconic leeches scene. If you did, you're on the right track. We're talking about the duo's latest movie, The Lost City. Now, if you've watched the movie, you already know the Ad Astra actor had a supporting role in that. How cool that the two jungle leads are now returning for Pitt's center stage ride. There's also the similarity in Brad's character on the forest cruise and now on a Japanese train. At the end of The Lost City, we saw Jack Trainer pop up in a meditation class, saying he's working on his anger issues. Is that familiar, or is that familiar? Nanau is working on his anger too. Trainer was also a trained mercenary, so it looks like both alter egos aren't that far apart. Spies are always changing their names, so maybe Jack is now Nanau? That's a really nice continuation. We approve. Moving on, looks like the romance model is still at it too. Speaking of continuation, Channing hasn't changed either. In his adventure film, Channing, or let's just say Alan Kaprizin, was a model. A romance novel cover model, to be exact. We meet Magic Mike on the train in a high-stakes situation when Tangerine is chasing Ladybug. The lead turns to Tatum for his accessories to throw him off his tail. As funny as that exchange was, with Chan's cluelessness and confusion, did you catch what he was doing before Pitt interrupted him? Reading a romance novel. Isn't it curious that he was a model for those exact types of novels before this, and now he's reading one? We aren't sure if it's just a nod to his previous movie, or if it's really Kaprizin in the flesh. Whatever it was, it's no coincidence. And there is 100% a connection. By the pace we're going, it seems like Bullet Train is just expanding its universe, and including the events of other movies and shows. Following with Train Talk on the Bullet Train. And not just shows, cartoons too. It's only fair that you mention one of the most popular animated trains when on a train. With how many times Thomas the Tank Engine was mentioned, he and his friends are side characters now, more like like alter egos of existing passengers. But there's more to this inclusion. If you don't already know, let us enlighten you with the fact that Bullet Train is a Japanese novel adaptation. It has taken a few liberties, but when it came to Thomas, the makers stuck with the book. The author, Kotaro Isaka, loves American media, even its cartoons. That's why he frequently mentioned the popular toy train in his book. In the movie, Isaka's obsession is given to Brian Tyree Henry's Lemon. We constantly see him labeling people as Thomas and his friends, like the Shady Prince as Devious Diesel. Gotta say, spot on, Lemon. And now, was it Thomas's Percy or Poseidon's Percy? As to what Lemon and Tangerine were doing on the train, the identical twins were tasked with delivering the White Death's son to him. Should we even say spoiler alert now? Not really. The son spends most of his journey as a corpse, but someone has to play dead too. That someone was Logan Lerman. While distributing Thomas's friends, Lemon felt the son is a Percy, the clumsy green engine. After all, he wound up dead, so aptly named again. But the ears of Percy Jackson's fans were immediately raised at this label. How convenient that the actor who played Percy Jackson is now called Percy. It was an unmissable connection, and we just loved it. What's more, Lerman's cameo has come during an awfully curious time. The Percy Jackson movies are getting a do-over, and the casting was just announced some time ago. Even though we knew Logan is too old now to play the teenage boy again, we were still gutted he's not Percy anymore. The Adam Project's Walker Scobell is now taking that mantle, but we can still hope the perks of being a wallflower star can make a guest appearance in the new reboot. That's why Lemon calling him the Green Engine is getting way more hype than it normally would have. Some hopeful viewers are convinced we're being teased that Logan will return to his roots somehow. It could be wishful thinking too. No matter how often the actor is asked about these rumors, he's adamant there's no truth to any of them. But for all we know, the cheeky guy could be pulling an Andrew Garfield on us. Next, we have Ladybug and his Lady Luck. Most insects give us the heebie-jeebies, but you gotta agree a ladybug is cute. That's why many Asian cultures dote on this creature and associate it with luck and fortune. Why are we mentioning this? Because luck was a hidden running theme on the Bullet Train. Joey King's Prince is big on good fortune, believing she's so lucky. Admittedly, her pride got her nowhere. In fact, ultimately killed her. The thing is, she wasn't as blessed as she believed. In contrast, Brad Pitt believes the odds are never in his favor. Everywhere he goes, every mission he has goes haywire somehow. That's why he believes he just has the devil's own luck. But look, no matter how pessimist he was, he always had Lady Luck. What's more, his codename is a symbol of luck. Seemingly, his mission goes wrong, but all is fine that ends fine. Ladybug always comes out on top, saved one way or another. So it's high time he realizes he's named after good fortune. Even if he didn't catch it, we sure did. Wrapping it up, Ryan Reynolds has cleared his debt. We saved the best, most unexpected cameo for the last. Ryan Reynolds is the real sneak, the reason for all Ladybug's train troubles that were really meant for Reynolds Carver. It was just a 2-sec cameo, but Ryan is no longer in debt. Here's what we're talking about. Remember Deadpool 2? When the snarky hero is building a team, he recruits an invisible mutant, and like his fellow team members, we think he's nuts, until the Vanisher gets an electrifying end, and we see his face for a split second. It was Brad Pitt. That was a mind-blowing cameo and came out of nowhere. Previously, we heard Reynolds managed to bring Pitt on for just a cup of coffee. Is that the price of A-lister guest appearances now? Hugh Jackman's Wolverine would have long appeared alongside Deadpool if it was. Sorry for poking your wound, Ryan. Anyways, looks like the coffee didn't do the trick. Reynolds returned the favor by boarding the Bullet Train. What's more interesting is that this movie and Deadpool 2 are both directed by David Leitch. So it was no trouble bringing his old hero aboard. It's a party, and everyone knows everyone. Oh, what fun. Not gonna lie, the Bullet Train was the ride of our lives, but these secret connections made it so much more interesting. Now, Bullet Train 2, please, David? That's a wrap. Tell us in the comments what references caught you by surprise, and which ones you already knew. Don't forget to like and share this video. Subscribe to this channel for more hidden Easter egg missions like this. See you in the next one.